Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? My name is Rob and welcome back once again for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm able to save up over 60% of my monthly income and put that money into investments. And I polled you guys a little while back now, a couple weeks ago, to ask you guys some ideas for some videos. And a lot of you guys voted for this video. And I'm sorry it took me so long to do it, but I've just kind of been busy and I'm trying to get back in the swing of publishing videos on a regular basis. So here's the video that you guys wanted. And in today's video, I'm going to kind of show you guys how I do my budgeting. I'll show you guys my expenses. I'll show you guys how much money I'm actually making on average on an average basis, and I'll give you guys a cool little spreadsheet, which is really basic spreadsheet, kind of outline everything to show you guys, kind of break it down, all the things that I spend my money on and whatnot, and how much money I'm making. And before I go any further, I just want to show you guys a cool little list of fun activities that I've been building throughout this summer to just show you guys that, having fun and saving money isn't about sacrificing. It's about trying new things and enjoying things in life. So, try new things, have some fun, and just because you're saving money doesn't mean that your life has to be boring or anything like that. So if you have loved ones or pets, make sure you spend time with them, have fun with them, do new things, try new things, and your life will be a lot better. So that's my recommendations. That's some quick little tips for you guys who think that saving money is a big sacrifice. It's really the opposite. The more I save, the new things I try, and the less I have, the more I'm enjoying life and I'm having a lot of fun here. So just want to do that quick little piece of advice for you guys. So before we go any further, just a quick little recap to give you guys an idea on what the purpose here, what my goals are here. So in the beginning of 2020, I started a dividend portfolio on this channel. And the goal was basically to invest as much money as I possibly could to grow an investment portfolio that's both structured towards dividend growth and long-term stock appreciation. So the idea was to build a dividend portfolio that over time would grow and I could, hopefully one day live off of it. And one of the big things for this channel that I've been doing is kind of trying to role play even as we grow the portfolio, and it's just making something like a couple bucks a month kind of thing. Just little things that I could use that money to make my life easier. And one of the big reasons I've been able to aggressively grow this portfolio, as you guys have seen, and only about a year and a half later, we're already making about $100 a month, and we've had a lot of gains in the portfolio, is because I'm putting as much money as I possibly can inside this portfolio. So I'm aggressively growing as much as possible. So basically what I'm doing is I'm paying for some basic necessities here, and then every little bit of free cash that I have, I'm basically throwing out the portfolio. And some months are obviously bigger than others because of the nature of the work I do. I get paid from YouTube, I work a part-time job, I get paid from affiliate income, I get paid from ad revenue, and I get paid from my dividend income as well, my stocks. So these things kind of go up and down all the time, so the income isn't consistent as if you just worked a regular consistent job. So we got to kind of factor that in here. But basically what I did for this video is I took my earnings from May. The month of May is what we're going to do, and I kind of went through my bank statements, everything like that, to tally up my expenses for the month of May, and we're going to be kind of looking at those things, and that's what we're going to be comparing in today's video. And if there's one thing that's really going to benefit you guys in this video, here's the tip of advice I'm going to give you guys, is make a budget. Go through your expenses, write everything down. And the main reason you do this is because you can actually see where your money is going. You'd be surprised at where your money goes if you're not tracking it. So once you start tracking it, track how much money you're making, make a simple, spreadsheet or something like that, and then start tracking on a regular basis. You don't have to do this every single month, but maybe every other month kind of thing. You can write down where your money's going, and this can just help you visualize and see, where you need to cut your expenses. So at this point in the video, what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually jump inside my spreadsheet, and I'll show you guys kind of my expenses, and hopefully you guys can get some value from this and kind of learn and see how I'm able to save up as much money as I've been saving. Alright guys, so here's the expenses list that we're going to cover in today's video, and hopefully you guys can see everything pretty clearly here. I'll zoom in just a little bit more so it's a little bit bigger, and here's my fancy dancy spreadsheet. And just to kind of show you guys, I use OpenOffice. I don't pay for Microsoft Excel. It's a free version. You can just make super basic spreadsheets. Obviously they're not as fancy and my spreadsheet skills aren't as good as others, but if you really just need something basic, you could even use Notepad if you wanted to, just to jot some notes down to see where your expenses are going. So let's cover through here really quickly here. So the first thing we'll talk about is the monthly income for May. I made $3,190. Now one thing to take to keep in mind is that, like I mentioned earlier, my income does fluctuate on a regular basis. It can go anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000, sometimes even $2,000 a month. It kind of hovers around that high 2000s to mid 3000s kind of range, give or take. But some months it is quite a little bit more and maybe a little bit less. So at the end of the day, you got to kind of figure out your average. But I'm just going to show you guys for the month of May, because this is actually one of my lowest lowest months actually. So I just want to show you guys that, depending on how much you work and other things like that, it can really fluctuate your income. So if you can try to get some type of average monthly earnings so you can get an idea of how much you're saving and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's not a competition. Some months I save a lot more than others. Some months I also spend a lot more. Sometimes I spend more on groceries. Sometimes emergencies come up that you don't account for. So you don't have to be strict with this kind of stuff. It's just kind of to give you an idea, some milestone, something to shoot for, and something to kind of make you conscious about your spending. So here's the expenses here. As you guys can see, I'll talk about these one by one. The first thing here is the big one is rent. I pay about, I live with my girlfriend. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment. We kind of split most of the bills 50-50, give or take. So we split our rent 2 ways. So we pay $920 in total for rent. We each pay $460 each. So I'm just kind of doing this for my own personal expenses. And I think that's a smart way for couples to do it because it just keeps you accountable for your own savings, your own goals kind of thing. And then that way, if somebody wants to spend a lot of money, then they can spend it, but they're still entitled to help out at the end of the day. So that's kind of why we do things. Obviously we share things, we help each other out, but we kind of hold each other accountable for things at the end of the day. So here's the rent, $460. So basic thing to take to kind of, I guess, lesson to learn from this is if you can reduce your rent by any means possible, if you can find a roommate, if you can find some people to live with, it really makes a big difference. Because if I had to pay about $900 or $1,000 ish myself, that would really put a big dent in my savings. That'd be like an extra $500 I'm not saving per month. And it doesn't sound like much, but when you're kind of like, I shouldn't say low income, but when you make a little bit on the lower side of income, if you only make like $2,000 a month, that's going to be a lot of money. So the less money you make, the more important I feel like this is. And you're going to see that as we go through this video. So the next up we have is groceries. Now we made a goal that we're each going to spend about $200 a month in groceries, and this pretty much includes everything we eat. We also are very health conscious. One of the big changes I made in my life as I've gotten older is to put an emphasis on health. I remember in my early 20s when I didn't have any money, I was living off like $20 a week. Just because I didn't make a lot of money and I wasn't doing as good, I wasn't smart with my money and whatnot. And there's some situations where I was broke and I literally had no money. And living off $20 a week in groceries kind of sucks. You're eating a lot of no-name noodles and not so good stuff, and you feel like junk at the and you're not productive. You don't feel good, and I don't think that's a good way of living. Now, obviously, if you got to do it in the short term, you got to do it, but try to improve that situation or try to make some other sacrifices because your health is important. So we spend about $200 each, which is $400 in total, and we try to make everything homemade, home cooked, good quality stuff. We're not perfect. We still eat junk here and there, but that's kind of what we're trying. And a lot of times we don't go over a budget. Like, we end up basically spending each $50 a week each. And a lot of times, like, I'll spend like $20-30 because we just have stuff from previous weeks and whatnot. So it just depends. Once again, goes up and down. The third thing we have here is internet. This is pretty consistent. We spend about $100 on internet. I've been looking to kind of reduce this because it's still a little bit on the higher side. We don't really need fast internet. The only thing I really use the internet for is these videos, to watch YouTube videos, but pretty much every internet service nowadays is pretty high speed. And we don't really have to worry about things like we have Netflix and whatnot, but I've used Netflix with like crappy internets and stuff like that, and it seems to work perfectly fine. So this is maybe something we could reduce in the future, and this is something I'm definitely going to take a peek at. The next big thing a lot of people don't realize is transportation. Now, I'm lucky. While my girlfriend was in school, I basically had no transportation costs. I can walk to work. I walk everywhere. I'm hardcore like that. It's only about a 20 minute walk to my part-time job. We're close to stores. We're kind of like in the middle of things, so we don't need to take the bus. I do take the bus occasionally, but I try to really reduce that. And there's a lot of times like I just don't take the bus at all. So obviously over time, we want to improve this. We do want to get a vehicle because we do want to travel. But this is something, if you really want to cut back, if you're making car payments, if you spend money on a vehicle and you really have no money, look at your transportation, because even if you just do it temporarily, like you cut back, just to save a little bit of money for emergency fund or something like that, it can really make a big difference. And I think rent and transportation and maybe food, depending on what you buy, is going to be the biggest expense that people have. So if you can cut those back, it's going to make a big difference. Next up we have is Adobe Premiere. I pay monthly for Adobe Premiere. It's about $30 a month. I'm probably just going to buy it eventually because I did the monthly trial just to test it out to see if it was any good. And I do enjoy it quite a bit. So I probably will just buy like the actual product itself. It might be like a couple $100, but I'll save tons of money in the long run doing that. Next up we have is a phone bill. I use Public Mobile. It's the cheapest service you can in Canada, I believe. My phone bill is free because thankfully and fortunately I did a video. It was a review video and I had an affiliate link in that video, and they basically knock off $1 per month per each person you refer. So basically everybody who used my referral link, big thanks to you guys, because now I pay $0 for my phone bill. But even if I did pay money, it would only be 25 bucks a month. So it's pretty cheap if you get a good service provider. So if you want a cheap service provider, check out Public Mobile. Next up we have is other stuff. This is like miscellaneous stuff. So this could be like, ordering pizza, going for coffee, buying crap at the store we don't need, cat food, stuff like that. I kind of basically tallied up everything that we spent, and it was about $300. Once again, this is something that goes up, it goes down depending on the month. I try not to be super hardcore, but if money's tight, then you kind of want to look at these things and try to create, you want to have fun. You want to not feel like you're sacrificing too much, but cut this down as much as possible and you'll have bigger success. Next up we have is TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a YouTube tool I use for keyword research, different things like that. It's like a marketing tool. It's very, very effective. I pay 20 bucks a month. I think that's like the second or the lowest plan. So that's for my business kind of thing. And you'll notice I don't pay basically for anything else for my business, and that's how it's been to start. Over time, I might change that, as things go. But that's kind of the way it is. Basically, that and Adobe Premiere, which is about 50 bucks a month, is probably my only business services. So that's how I kind of keep my business expenses really cheap there. But like I said, I might change that over time as my business grows and whatnot. Next up we have is the bank service charge. I'm with CIBC. They charge me $15 a month, which sucks, but I want a bank that's in town. I like the convenience of it. I like the services. I just prefer it. So I mean, it sucks, but I have the $15 a month. I might look around for a cheaper one eventually, but whatever, it is what it is. I've been with CIBC forever, so that's just the way it is. But it is an expense at the end of the day, but I think it's worth it. My girlfriend uses Simply. It's a whoops, I don't know why I deleted that. My girlfriend uses Simply. It's an online bank and it's free. However, you don't have the convenience of having a bank in town. So if you need emergency money or if you lose your bank card or something, that can be an issue. So just kind of keep that in mind. Next up we have is Netflix. Netflix is 10 bucks a month. We have the cheapest plan. We don't need the multiple screen or multiple watching at once. We just use the TV, or I use my computer. That's pretty much it. And we honestly don't really watch that much, but for 10 bucks a month, we watch the occasional movie or the occasional show kind of thing. I think the girlfriend uses it more than I do. Next up we have is takeout and fast food. I made this a separate category because of the fact that I didn't really spend any money on takeout for this month, which was pretty cool. The only thing I spent was I spent 26 bucks on pizza one night. We ordered pizza one night, and that's surprisingly because usually I order pizza once to twice a week, but for whatever reason in the month of May we didn't order that much pizza. But you can see that even just one meal for takeout was $26. So if you had takeout once a week, that can add up or even more. So just keep consciously aware of that. And our total cost is $1,161, and total savings was $2,029. That's how much I'm saving for the month of May. Once again, this isn't every month. Some months are more, some months are less. Some months it might be $500, some months it might be $1,000. Some months it might be really good and be $2,000 like this one. It depends on my expenses and stuff like that and other things that are going on. But I do have an emergency fund that I kind of keep topped up. It has about $1,000 or so just for any expenses I need, and my girlfriend has one too as well, so we use that one as well. So that basically for the month of May, I saved 65% of my income. My math is correct on that, but once again, it goes up and down. Some months it might be 50%, some months it might be 70%, some months it might be 40%. It's just kind of like an average. So hopefully you guys found this spreadsheet helpful, and hopefully I didn't ramble along too much, but this is something you can do to just get an idea of where your expenses are going, and it can really open your eyes up to some opportunities and some potential to cut back and save some money. And in case you guys missed it earlier, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, what I'm doing with the money that I'm saving is I'm sticking it inside a dividend investment portfolio. So this is a Canadian and US based stock portfolio on Wealthsimple Trade. If you guys want to sign up to Wealthsimple Trade, there'll be links in the description of this video. But basically what it is, it's a online broker that you can easily get started with to put some money in and start investing. And I highly recommend you guys, if you guys are going to have free cash and you really want to grow your income over time, that you start some type of dividend or even just any kind of investment portfolio just to get that money growing growing over time, and it really does make a big difference at the end of the day. As you guys can see, my investments have just been growing on a regular basis, and that passive income is growing. And my goal long term is to 100% live off my stocks, but you know, that might take a long time to get there. So while I'm saving this money right now, I might as well invest it, and over time that can make my life easier as it grows, and hopefully in the future, you know, I can work less and just kind of spend more time living the life that I want to live. So that's the main goal here, and that's basically what I'm doing with all that free cash that I have. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit different than some of my other videos, and just let me know what you guys think. And if you guys actually do the exercise yourself, if you guys do look at your income, you do write down some of your expenses, write down in the comments what your biggest expense is. My biggest expense by far is probably going to be my rent, my food, and then I guess maybe some miscellaneous things. So random things I'd be buying, as I showed you guys earlier. That'd be things like buying fast food and whatnot, maybe doing, you know, buying snacks at the store and whatnot. Those would be the things that probably are my biggest expense at the end of the day. So let me know in the comment section, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, and I'll see you guys later.